Welcome to Driftless Ventures. Today is Father's Day. I hope all you fathers had a great day out there. I spent the afternoon with my 3 children and 2 grandchildren at the park. It was great to see everyone. I'm coming to you today before this video because it's very near and dear to my heart. This is a project that I've always wanted to do, and I figure it's either now or never. This project is, according to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, is a cycle that happens every 4 years. It happened in 2019, it happened in 2022, and we are prime time for it to happen again in 2026. I have spent a tremendous amount of time researching, editing this video, pulling equipment together, and getting this all ready. Like I said, this is very near and dear to my heart. I hope you guys enjoy this. And this is going to be the first of a 2 or 3 part series that I'm going to continue to update you guys for the next year. That's right, this project is going to take me a year. Well, I hope it doesn't take me a year, but I'm going to give it a year. Also, from last week's videos, on hanging trail cams, guess who showed up in front of the camera? I got a picture for you guys. It's a little early to tell yet, but it sure looks promising. It looks like my buck, or it's one that I'm definitely gonna watch. But I hope you enjoy the video. Stay tuned for Driftless Ventures. Bitten by the trail cam bug. The shotgun cams are all hung, and it's now just a wait. But the adventurous fires within me never die. A rekindled challenge that I've always wanted to do. To capture the most covenant of all trail cam pictures, a big cat. After hours of big cat research and studying topo maps, I began to piece together possible travel routes within preferred habitat. The driftless area of Wisconsin is a prime location for traveling cats. All my outdoorsman skills put to the test. A year-long project with 6 new shotgunning cameras strategically placed over a 30-mile span with one goal: to capture the holy grail of all trail camera pictures, a big cat. These phantasmal apex predators represent stealth, power, and mystery. It seemed difficult to access official records and information, and would ultimately be my prior years of trapping knowledge that would significantly increase my odds for success at creating the big cat trap. Where do you start? By looking at the big picture and slowly narrowing it down. First, I looked into where the cats were coming from. According to the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, there are 2 well-known corridors used for displaced young males. The northern corridor comes down from northern Minnesota across the northern portion of Wisconsin and Upper Peninsula. The second is the west/Mississippi corridor. They are coming from the Black Hills, crossing the Great Plains into Wisconsin in the Prairie du Chien area. The Mississippi corridor are cats coming from known breeding communities in western Nebraska. They head east across Iowa, hitting the Mississippi, following it north. They run into the Wisconsin River and follow it into the heart of the driftless area. All 3 corridors have one thing in common. They all head east. Next, I use satellite images to look at the big picture of the driftless area, getting a feel for its total size. Now, you zoom in on land features like the area where the Wisconsin River dumps into the Mississippi. Next, you zoom in more, concentrating on how the land topography lays, and imagine a thin line of water flowing through that topography heading east. the same direction as the cats travel. Lastly, you zoom in more on the areas where the topography bottlenecks, studying elevation lines, getting a detailed lay of the land, looking for rocky, rugged, south facing slopes. These are the cat trap spots. It took some digging, but the Department of Natural Resources confirms that Grant, Richland, and Sauk counties are hotspots for cougar sightings, and it's right in my backyard. There are 300 to 600 reported sightings each year, but since the Department of Natural Resources only confirms them by tracks, hair sample, or confirmed picture, so official sightings are low, and it's suspected that the majority of sightings are never reported. Welcome to Driftless Ventures. My name is Ken Gear, and I'm bringing you my adventures from the Driftless area of south central Wisconsin. Today we're in Rock Springs, Wisconsin at the Big Cat Rescue. We're going to meet with Jennifer, the owner here, to get her take on some big cat behavior and to see if maybe we're on the right track.
She is one that came from a zoo that no longer wanted her. You'll hear me say that quite often during this tour. It was a sad process the way everything used to work, where a lot of the smaller roadside zoos would purposely breed. It's a big draw for people to come in and see the cubs, and if they offer to pay to move. And then obviously the stuff that's left is the ground stuff and the smaller chunks. They'd prefer the bigger chunks, but it's just kind of what we had. Stopped going in with her the first week we got her. She just played a little too rough for us, and safety reasons, we decided to vacate. Harley. Patiently waiting.
I got a question for you, Jen,
Sure.
if I'm allowed to ask you a question.
Yeah, definitely.
You said earlier that the cats normally don't eat as much when the weather's hot.
Right.
So if this cat was living here in the wild, would it eat less in the summer than in the winter months?
Yeah, a lot less. So the amount of food that we feed in the winter is double what you see today per day.
So when the cold weather, if it was winter and this cat lived here wild, it would eat twice as much food in the cold weather as it does in the summer.
Yep. Just because winter-wise they burn a lot more calories. Summertime they're kind of lazy, just kind of lay around and sleep all day. And winter they're just, I mean, they love the snow. They'll roll around playing it, make snow angels, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So what's that chance of them not getting along?
See him as a little one?
So with his dad, Kaya, what's your food? There's reasons why I go that way and not that way. I want to keep my fingers. So they say cancer is hereditary in tigers. So we are hoping that Harley does not have any of that. We could do feeding him.
Oh, there he goes.
So Carl is an African serval. I think he's right around 6-7 years old.
We are in Rock Springs, Wisconsin today, and we are here with Jen at the Big Cat Rescue. I'm here today because I did a tour today. Jen gave us a tour of these big cats, and just an absolutely awesome tour we had today, seeing these big cats. I'm learning more about it. But today I have questions for Jen on her behavior, her opinion on some of the behaviors of these big cats. And as we try to capture a cougar coming across the Driftless area of Wisconsin, we're trying to set the ultimate big cat trap. Meaning, we're going to set a trail cam trap and we're going to try to not only catch a mountain lion coming by the camera, we're going to try and capture them on that camera while they come into either scent, their scent to their sight, or their scent to smell. So, Jen, just in your opinion, I have a trap that I plan on using that is going to be dangling a turkey feather. It's just going to be fluttering in the wind as a sight. And then I'm going to have scent out that's going to disperse scent. It's just going to be a special little canister that's going to dispense scent real slow. And as that turkey feather dangles in the wind, we're going to have something on there I'm trying to figure out to make a little noise. We're going to try and capture all of their senses to bring them to the camera as well. So, in your opinion, is that dangling feather something that a cat would be interested or find curious? They always say curiosity kills the cat.
I think they would be curious. If it's a younger cat, I think they're going to be a lot more interested in it than an older cat would. But definitely the urine, that is definitely going to attract them, especially if it's attracting one of the opposite. They're going to be glued to that smell and curious as to where that other cat is at.
Just knowing how elusive they are, even if they see that feather, they may try to circle downwind to try and figure it out and hopefully capture the scent as well.
Yeah, they might, yeah.
We know the majority of the cougars that move through here are young dispersed males from the west. They're coming mostly, these guys are coming out of Nebraska. So a few out of the Black Hills, but they're young cats looking for new territory, young male cats looking for new territory. But just how many years have you been here? What's your role here and your expertise on these big cats?
So we've been rescuing, it'll be 22 years this year, I believe in August. So we started the wrong way. We started doing the picture taking business where you stand behind a table with a cub, get your picture taken. Did it for about a month and realized how stressful it is on them. And then just decided to flip our whole thing around. And here we are. At this location, we've been here for about 20 years now, and then we are open to the general public, mainly to educate people on them, what the need for rescues are. We've seen a lot of bad situations, some really good situations, but I mean, I'd say these guys that we haven't, they've grown up in captivity, but they still have that wild side to them. We'd love to see them all out in the wild, but unfortunately, since they were raised in captivity, we can't release them back out in the wild. They just would not survive.
But they still have the same behavior. They have cat behaviors, just like a cougar would.
Yep, for sure.
Other than they don't roam hundreds of miles.
Right, yeah.
Okay. A helpful piece of information that Jen gave me today, guys, is right away is that in the summertime when it's hot out, like it is today, it's starting to warm up today, the cats eat half as much as they do in cold weather. So when it's cold outside, these guys are hunting more. They got to eat more to generate the body heat to keep them warm. So just interesting facts there. I knew I'd learn a lot when I came here. And Jen, I want to thank you today for taking the time to tell us about the Big Cat Rescue and a little bit of history here, what you guys do.
Yeah, you're welcome.
If I capture that cougar on my trail cam,
I want to see it.
I will certainly share it with you. I will be sharing it with the world.
Awesome.
So we're here at Big Cat Rescue and talking with, what's your name?
Derek.
Derek. We're talking with Derek. Derek has had a sighting of a mountain lion, he says, in Black River Falls. Can you tell us just a little bit about it, Derek?
It was a while ago, like 10 years ago, but I was out hunting up in my tree stand with my mom, and it was some tall grass we were hunting over, a big field, and we thought it was a deer walking by, because it was the same color as like that light brown color of a deer, until it got out of the tall grass on this path we walked in, and we were able to see it had a large, long tail. So you're like, that's no deer, that's definitely some cougar or mountain lion. Okay. And then
in that sighting, did you report that sighting to the DNR?
We did not.
So it was a sighting that was unofficially documented. How many go undocumented? That's the question.
Yeah, no clue.
But this has been 10 years ago, but it's still... Thanks for sharing that with us, Darren.
Yeah, of course.
Well, guys, I am in Rock Springs, Wisconsin today. As you can see in the background, this big cliffs, and you can see the big bluffs in the background. Huge areas, isolated areas with minimal human interaction. The big cat rescue here in Rock Springs, Wisconsin falls just off the edge of my core area where I want to start looking for a big cat. But as you can see, these high cliffs, bluffs, and lots of boulders, lots of big rock outcroppings for a cat to crawl in and hide and you know, just rest. You know, after visiting with Jen at the Big Cat Rescue, I learned a lot about how elusive these cats in the wild really are, and just how much territory they cover. And you know, they're not real active during the day. On a day like today where it's, you know, it's warming up, it's getting, you know, in upper 70s right now, those cats will be in a cool cavern in the shade, probably just lazy, not very active. So this is typical of some of the terrain that I have been searching, physically and topographically. I have 6 locations that I have picked out for the cat traps. We're going to be setting these trail cams up, not only to capture just the cat hopefully crossing in front of it. We're going to work on all 3 senses of that cat to try and draw him in to the camera. So first of all, a cat has obviously 3 senses they rely on: their sense of smell, their hearing, and obviously their eyesight. So what we're going to do is I am designing a special little canister that's going to dispense Montain Lion urine slowly. So we're going to keep a scent close to the camera. We're going to create a scent post like cats create out in the wild with cat urine. And on that little canister, we're going to have a string dangling a turkey feather. We're going to mount it up off the ground just so if a cat's passing by, you know, 75, 80, 100 yards, see that turkey feather fluttering in the wind, hopefully curious enough to bring the cat into it. And as that turkey feather dangles, we're going to have a little something I haven't quite figured out yet to make just a little noise, something out of the ordinary, just to capture their attention. And they always say curiosity kills the cat. So I am working on that, and I think in a year's time, with 6 cameras in strategically located places, we're going to have some action. I'm not only hopeful, I'm certain that in a year we're going to have some kind of action there. A lot of people say, Ken, you're crazy, you're never going to do it. But I have to believe. It's part of my belief system. Being a Christian, there's always hope. There's always hope. There's always adventure. And God always makes a way. And we're putting our trust that God's going to bring a mountain lion past one of these cameras. And we're going to capture it on a trail cam and share it with the world. It's my ultimate hunting adventure. It's probably the toughest game I've ever taken on to try and... I'm not harvesting it, I'm just taking a picture. But it's going to be an ultimate challenge. I'm excited to bring it to you guys. We've done the research. We've mapped out locations to start with. The next is going to be getting out there and physically getting them out and setting the ultimate big cat trap.